Computer Programming A, if I could get your attention for just a couple minutes. I think I can figure this out in like a couple minutes. It may take longer. So I'm going off that you already created a CodePen account. There are some things you should pay attention to when you're starting your first pen. Like maybe you made some code on GameLab. I want to walk through some things you should know while moving to CodePen. So CodePen is the more advanced tool. You are capable of doing a lot in CodePen, and that GameLab can't. But all my assignments are possible. You can do most of them in GameLab if you choose to stay there. No need to feel pressured to move on to CodePen. So once you create a new pen, this will be like first pen moved from GameLab. Okay. When you open up your CodePen, you may not have a screen that looks like mine. It may be black colored. Your view may be different. You can edit all these settings. Maybe to make it look like GameLab, you want your output on the left-hand side, and then you want these windows where your code's going to go over here. So in settings, the very first thing you got to do is under JavaScript, you must add a very certain library, p5.js. This is going to be your best friend. Okay, p5.js. When you see it's added, p5.min over here, you save and close. Now, if we add in function draw, which is just like the code you had over here, right? If you go back to the blocks, that's the big green block, okay? Function draw, but now we just got to type it back up. I'm only copying and pasting a part of the student's code to illustrate the example. Typing up code is very different than dragging over blocks. Okay, so now I save and I run. I should see some things. Is it going to complain? Ellipse. Right. New stuff you need to add. Okay, the new stuff for CodePen is you need a setup function. You didn't have to do this in GameLab. You have to create how big you want your canvas to be. So that think about you are an artist with a paintbrush. Canvas, let's make it 400 by 400. Oops. 400 by 400. That's what the size that GameLab gave you. So we're going to make ours a gray. So if I save and run, you can see we have some eyes. Okay. So if it's using fill and ellipse, that kind of code transfers like one-to-one. If you copy and paste that from your code, it works. I want to find eyebrows, okay? But then down here, right, maybe we get a smile. I think arc works similarly. It may be different, so let's see the results. So then down here, due to this student's well-organized code, I can find the pieces that I need. It's just the beginning of an animal face. There's some eyes. There's a smile. Maybe. No. Okay. So it looks like arc doesn't work the way it does. This needs some fixing. That doesn't work directly out from GameLab. And then let's see if this shape thing works. Okay, eyebrows. Nope, looks like eyebrows don't work either. So I took a very small snippet of this student's work, right? Notice all the detail here. We're just trying to focus in on this part. It's a variation, an inspiration from Kirby. It's really well done. Okay, so this code over here, this probably needs some fixing too. And now I want you to be very familiar with the code, the original documentation for p5.js. If you go to this website, this is now your manual. So you go here. You go to p5.js, you're going to go down to reference, okay? This is a list of all the functions possible in p5.js. CodePen can do like all, if not most of these, okay? So for us, there's a certain kind of shape function that we want to utilize. They go by different names. Here, it's just one word, shape, and then it gives you a bunch of numbers. The equivalent in p5.js on CodePen, I think, should be begin shape, like so. This is how we define shapes based on coordinates. So you have to translate a bit and move these things over. So let's see if I can get one eyebrow to appear. what was previously shape, oops, like so, I need to borrow some code, so I'm going to copy and paste this part down here. Let's see if we can get one eyebrow. So now it looks like begin shape. I need vertex, 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 and then end shape. So then I'm going to copy these coordinates, paste them into here, these coordinates, the next set of xy coordinates into here, the next set, like so, oops. The next set over here, move them into this, and then this one, okay? So it's an exact 4 by 4 or 4 to 4 mapping. Save and run, and hopefully I see an eyebrow. Darn it, I don't see an eyebrow. More indentation? So if I don't figure it out in the next couple minutes, this is probably where I'm going to pick up on Tuesday. If there's time, you can ask me on Friday, how do you translate GameLab code into Codepen? With a couple changes, you should get the code working in both instances. Ah, good catch. Let's make it 0. Save and run. Not quite. I think this worked okay. But we can change those. Filling, all lights are on, 255. Fill being black is 0. Oh, it might be this one right here. So in GameLab, we use the RGB block. In GameLab, you don't need that. You can just type it all 3 of those in. So now, let's see. Darn it. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting somewhere. Any other tips? You remember the differences between GameLab and Codepen? It's been a while for me. Ellipse is spelled right. Fill now works. Ellipse, 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 ellipse. Smile, no fill. Arc. Let's comment that out. Fill 0. Let's close that. So notice I'm commenting the code. I think it's broken. Oh, look, there it is. There's an eyebrow. Success. So we've successfully translated a shape into here, okay? And then we can get the other eyebrow, okay? We copy and paste down here. And then we'll borrow these coordinates that we've already done the hard work for. That was the tedious bit, estimating coordinates. If you follow what I did with the canvas size for the width and height, then your code works and should look the way you want it to. But now you can explore like Bezier curves or other kinds of contours, right? Curves are interesting. We like curves. Ta-da! And there's that face part. Okay, that's all I wanted to show you. More to come on Tuesday. You're welcome to do your own research and figure that out. I prefer that as your way of learning.